Welcome to the Module 5 of the Chromafor project, entitled Systematizing and Quantifying the Circular Economy in the Foundry Sector. And this is Unit 2, entitled Circular Economy Solution for the Foundry Sector. In the previous unit, we have discussed how to perform the circularity audit. Instead, here, finally, we discuss about the technical solution that a foundry can adopt. The unit is divided into topics: circular economy solution internal to the foundry and circular economy solution involving external partners. Basically, we have divided the unit in two parts because we have two main categories of technical solution. On one side, the solution that can be adopted autonomously by the foundry. So, the foundry has to decide just when and how to adopt them. On the other side, we have a solution that requires an interaction with the stakeholders. That can be customers, a supplier, or a third-party entity. So, the foundry, in order to start the solution, needs a specific agreement and a certain environment. Circular economy solution internal to the foundry. Pre-consumer recycling is the reclamation of waste material that were created during the process of manufacturing or delivering goods prior to their delivery to the consumer. Basically, we are discussing about all the materials, all the goods that are produced by the foundry and are not delivered to the consumer because they don't pass quality controls or because they are not accepted by the supply chain. They can be immediately reused by the foundry, considering that all the ferrous materials produced by the foundry have a high level of recycling. So it's a process that a foundry can immediately start. Anyway, the foundry can recycle all defective parts and ferrous scrap if it has an accurate quality control system. Basically, the foundry just needs an accurate quality control process that allows to identify the materials that cannot transfer to the consumers and can be immediately reused and recycled in the production process. Another source for circular economy is heat. The foundry uses large amount of heat. The waste heat from smelting operation can be used for the building climatization, core drying, and water heating. It's possible to recover even 15–20% of heat with careful planning. Basically, in a foundry there is a huge amount of heat used in the main production process. It's just necessary to identify where the heat is used, when the heat is lost, and the most efficient way that can be used to recover this heat. And in this way, it's possible to save a good amount of energy and of money. Another material that can be included in a good circular economy practice is water. Water is used in a foundry to cool the casting or machinery. This can cause it to become contaminated with air pollution, so it may be a problem to waste it, or it needs some treatment to be wasted. Anyway, it's not worth to waste it. It's possible to reduce water consumption by recovering wastewater with heat exchanger, closed circuit system, or employing it in other processes. For example, in the course we show some case studies where water is recovered to increase the humidity of sand. There are a lot of studies and a lot of applications that allow to dramatically reduce the water consumption in a foundry process. circular economy solutions involving external partners. The simplest and most adopted circular economy solution is the recovery of ferrous scraps. Recycled steel saves iron ore, energy, extraction wastes, and landfill space. Basically, ferrous scraps have the advantage that can be recycled in a very high percentage and several times. So, reusing ferrous scraps instead of extracting iron ore and then ferrous material allow to save a lot of material and a lot of energy. So it's not just an economical practice for the foundry, but it's also a very good green practice for the environment. However, a metal recycling plant is required. Basically, in the surrounding, it is necessary to have a system for collecting ferrous scrap and recycle them in a way that then can be reused in the foundry. Another interesting solution is the recycling of waste foundry sand. Waste foundry sand is a byproduct from the production of both ferrous and non-ferrous metal casting. Basically, in the casting process, there is some so-called foundry sand that is used for the process. This is a very high quality sand that can be reused a lot of time, but there is a moment while it cannot be used anymore, and so it becomes a waste foundry sand. There are a lot of studies about the possibility to reuse the waste foundry sand for different applications. It can be recycled for the production of concrete, bricks, asphalt, soil for plants, drainage blanket. In the course, we produce several case studies of application of waste foundry sand, and it's another good practice for foundries that want to adopt circular economy solutions. We remember that this is just an introduction to Unit 2. All the material related to the unit is available on the project website www.chromafor.eu. Thanks for the attention and follow us.